you're prepared. Oh, that's it. Just being prepared for what you're there to do. And like that's something that I've already discussed a bunch with the cause and effect, is that, you know, they say that fights, and I mentioned this I think in the last podcast or one of them, that fights are won or lost in the months preparing. And I think that's a Floyd Mayweather quote. But what it means is like when the time comes to just go out there and do your job, you either won or you lost, like in the training. It's not that some magical moment could happen, but it's all that prep and it's the effect of the cause. And the cause is what you work toward, you put so much effort towards. And, you know, I'll be honest, when I was talking about my pilot's license test thing, is that I didn't put as much effort in than I did the first time because I kind of thought I could get away with it. And I did get away with it. But what the cause, meaning the effort that I put in, was just enough for me to squeak by, and the effect, meaning that I passed it versus failed it. So just really trying to get that example there. But again, like I mentioned earlier, you know, people just dreaming isn't going to make things become a reality. And the funny thing is that most people think that it will make them happier, you know, attaining something in specific. And it's just simply not true. Even a new car, new house, new girlfriend might make you happy for a little while, short term. Long term, it will only change the causes and effects you are experiencing, for better or worse. You need to act. You need to cause or create, and therefore you can receive the effects. And the effect doesn't need to be in the form of a material good like money or a physical item. It can be simply changing the world and how it functions. And that's a super beautiful thing. The best things in life are free. What I mean by everything is free is the universe is unlimitedly abundant. All things in society, for the most part, were created by other humans. Besides, like a tree that was there long before society, or at least the detailed information within the seeds of the DNA to create the tree could have been there, which is within society. But what I'm saying is like society as a whole was man-made, you know, created obviously. And so what I'm saying is basically everything that's man-made is free. It's not easy to achieve, but it's still free, if that makes sense. Everything that you have ever earned may seem valuable, but in fact, the opposite is true. Everything valuable in this world was given to you for free. And what I mean by free is obviously not because you earned your right to be here through spiritual forces, God, you know, so many things that are incomprehensible to us humans in so many ways. But all I mean is just appreciating the things that are truly gratifying, you know, like nature, just being out in nature yesterday walking, and it's like, man, the wind and the birds and the cows in the field, and just walking through that is just like, it's such magical beauty, smelling the ocean air. And, you know, like just being in that moment is so more, we just seem to get so like revved up and put so much time and attention and energy towards some things like what's going on in the news and what's going on in politics and stuff like that. That's like just really not as important as being out with your family and just doing the best that you can do and acting in a way that's going to inspire others to be the best that they can be. And there's so much that just could not be talked about enough, to just be reminded that to look through life in the purest form, the purest eyes that you have, to do good in the world and to not focus or have bad intentions or bad energy towards other people or other things, and to truly just remember what's really important out there. And that is, you know, the love of loved ones, friendships, relationships, the love of animals, the love of nature, just being out and like really realizing that you're alive. Like you are alive. You're here expressing yourself. You can do anything you want out there. Like there's literally unlimited things to do. And the purpose of this video as a whole is the cause and effect, of course, but within that is the realization that your cause can create beautiful effects for your life and the ones around you. And as long as you're pure and you have good intentions, there's nothing that can stop you. But it all, for me, comes back to realizing that we are all operating within nature's laws. That's a beautiful thing, because if you look at a tree or you look at, you know, a bird or an animal, they're all working together to create the whole system to flow. And, I know humans may be doing a lot of detriment to the planet and doing a lot of things that can be harmful, but we're also doing a lot of good. And we're also creating a lot of life and outward consciousness that is only evolving and expanding into so many different ways that personally I can't even comprehend all the ways. And I know there's so much more out there than most of us will ever understand. But just understanding that we all have a purpose here, and we all have a dharma, which is the Buddhist term for life purpose. But we're all playing a massive part here. So if you find yourself getting too down on something, and figure out why, identify the cause of that stress or that struggle, and really try to see what you can do to change it. And you don't realize it, but you are affecting everything around you. Your entire aura, of your energy, your energetic field, when you're associating with other people, when you're associating, like whether it's in a social setting, whether it's in a personal setting, whether it's talking to a random stranger, whether it's talking to a bird or an animal or anything, like you have some cause, and it will affect people in certain ways. And I think I was way less aware of that as a child, where I was like, I'll do whatever I want, I can do whatever I want, like just psychopath kid. And there's a Johnny Cash song that God's gonna cut you down, and the lyrics in there is, sooner or later God will cut you down. I never really understood that until I got a little bit older, where I was like, why am I always shooting myself in the foot? Like, why am I always broken? And I always realized, I'm operating within nature's laws, but I didn't understand nature's laws. And I would say, don't have all of them mastered, but I'm starting to understand them a lot better than I did. But cause and effect is a very, very important natural law. And it means that if you jump off something that's too high, gravity is a natural law. You're going to break something. You're going to get up. And I point outside because I'm like thinking about jumping off that house, but like, there's an effect for everything. And I think if you don't understand that, then you're susceptible to more danger. You're susceptible to more uncertain circumstances that you can put yourself in. And I guess I'm just making this video to truly, add value to a kid, like, because it's so important to learn. If I could look back and say, like, to a 15-year-old me, how important understanding this is, then I would have treated people a lot differently. I would have, approached things so much differently as a child. Not that I was doing bad things, but I would do them maybe a little bit more methodically, if that makes sense, and just go about things a little bit different. So I may be doing this, making some of these videos to try to warn kids, but the funny thing is, if I was a kid, like if I was me as a 15 or 16, 17, 20-year-old, I would be like, this guy doesn't know, like, him, I know what I'm talking about. But the thing is that if I had this, my best attempt to a 20-year-old me or a 18-year-old me would be to give that kid some cushion by at least attempting for my 29-year-old self to give that opportunity to somebody that might be able to benefit from it. And that's a cause within itself. So, I know there's a saying that if you want to know your life purpose, then look at the hardest, most important, life-changing things that have ever happened to you, and then teach those to others, teach what you learned from them to others. And there's so much truth in that. And I think that for me personally, I'm not here to whine, but I've had to go through certain things in my life in order to have a very strong self understanding and what I'm here to do and what I'm here to offer to others. And I think that if the more I can do that, the more important it is, and the better the world becomes a better place.